Welcome back to Collectability. Today I have the pleasure of sharing the story of Patek Philippe coin watches. Today we're going to look at the approximate 100-year history of Patek Philippe coin watches. We're going to look at some specific pieces, and we're going to unlock together some of the secrets of these beautiful works of art. First, let's go back to the beginning of Patek Philippe coin watch production. It started in the 1920s. In 1925, in fact, the first Patek Philippe coin watch was made. Now it's quite exciting to see where that coin watch went. Ultimately, that watch was bought by no other than Henry Graves, the greatest Patek Philippe collector of all times. And in this famous catalog from June of 2012, we could see that first coin watch here. A piece made in 1925 and sold to Graves June 29th, 1928. And a close look at the dial of this coin watch, and you could see it's gilt. It's gold. It's made out of gold with amazing engraved and enamel Breguet numerals. And it's quite fitting. Graves, who had a banking past, had a coin watch. Literally, time is money. So now, I'd like to show you a coin watch here. This is a reference 802 from 1974. And you could see that these were placed within vintage coins. This particular coin was from 1923, but the coin watch wasn't sold until 1974. When we look at these coin watches, they look perfectly identical to a regular gold coin. They were made in many different currencies by Patek Philippe. There were Mexican pesos, there was British pounds, there were Swiss francs. Over 15 currencies were used in the production of these coin watches. So when they were made, actually 2 coins were sacrificed in order to make each coin watch, because one coin was hollowed out and the other was used for the lid, and they were able to replicate the same size and weight and look as the original coin. Now, if you look at one of these coin watches, you can't see anything that would identify it as a watch, except this small rectangular button hidden in the side of the coin. Now, these further hinge open so that you could put this on your desk, use it as a display piece until the time when you would like. These were not really used to be carried as pocket watches. These were novelty pieces. They were luxury objects, and they're just a bit of fun from Patek Philippe. So you could see how it hinges right back into the case and closes. And once again, it's just a simple coin. By the 40s and 50s, there was a bit of a coin watch mania. Multiple brands, over a dozen different brands, were selling coin watches. Brands such as Rolex, Audemars Piguet, even lesser known brands such as Esca were selling coin watches. With all of these companies selling coin watches, it's important to note that there was one case maker that made these coin watches for the entire Swiss production. And that particular company is called Goyot. When you look inside each of these movements on the back of the inner case, you'll see the case maker mark, 122, and that is the mark of Goyot. So whether you're buying one of these from Esca or Patek Philippe or any brand in between, it is going to be a case, essentially a coin, that was shaped to fit a movement and a dial from Goyot. Now, I, of course, absolutely love Patek Philippe coin watches above all others. And that is because the movements and the dials within are pure Patek Philippe DNA. And when you look at the earliest coin watches, they typically have a 99p caliber. As we go through time, you see different calibers up until the late 20th century. The famed 215 caliber was used within each coin watch. So now let's look at each of these 3 coin watches. And it's such a pleasure to have a reference 801, 802, and 803 in front of us. I've never seen the 3 together. We have like the trinity of the first Patek Philippe coin watches right before me. Each Patek Philippe coin watch has a 3-digit number that starts with an 8. So the first reference was 800 and then 801, going all the way up to 873. Not every number was used within that series, but a good number were. So if you see a 3-digit number starting with an 8, it's a good sign. It's a Patek Philippe coin watch. So let's look at this, the 802 first, which we just opened. The 802 is always with a $20 gold piece. And there are a number of different dial variants that you can see. Here we have Roman numerals. Moving on to a different reference, the reference 801. This particular piece is from 1984. And you'll note it's significantly smaller than the $20 coin because this is a US $10 coin. This is one of the smallest Patek Philippe coin watches that was ever made. This particular US $10 coin is from 1911, and you'll see it has the secret button on the side. Press it, the dial flips open, and it also has that gilt Roman dial, which is such a stunning look. In 2006, Christmas Day, a coin watch was passed on from father to son, and what it represented was more than the passing of a coin from father to son. It represented the passing of the presidency of Patek Philippe from Philippe Stern to his son, Thierry Stern. This is the reference that represented the passing of the company to the next generation. Now, only 3 reference 801s are known to exist, and it's such a pleasure for Collectability to have one of these here in my hands. The third coin watch I'd like to share with you today is also quite special. This coin watch was acquired in the early 1980s by a coin collector for its exceptional condition as a $20 gold Liberty coin. And just holding this coin in my hand, I could feel the condition and the sharpness of the edges. It's just absolutely mint. Now, when he bought this, he thought it was just a coin. He thought it was an exceptional example of the $20 gold piece. But upon further investigation, quite recently, he saw it with the coin edge. There's that tiny rectangle, and was curious about it. So you can imagine what the moment was like when he took that button and pressed it for the first time. And it popped open, the lid popped open, and he saw a Patek Philippe dial with a retail signature, Tiffany Company. Now I'd like to show you something absolutely extraordinary. It may be a YouTube first. The first time that someone looked inside a Patek Philippe coin watch in order to see the brilliant case making involved in making one of these micro beauties. So these coin watches hinge open like this, and the reverse of the dial has a case back. I've already removed this case back so that we could look very closely at what you see on the reverse of each coin watch. You'll see the signature, Patek Philippe Genève, Helvetia. You'll see the 0.750 for yellow gold. Most importantly, the 122, the mark of the case maker, Goyot. Then we have the case maker, and finally, in the bottom row, the reference number 803. Now, this is a fun little experiment. I wanted to see how thick this case back is. As you can see, it is almost like knife edge thin. So when I take out my calipers, I measure carefully, and you see it's between 0.4 and 0.5 millimeters thick. Now, just for point of comparison, I've taken 4 Post-it notes here, 0.4 millimeters thick. So this is gold that's engraved with all of this amazing information that's found within each coin watch. And the point of this is that starting even in the 1920s, these ultra thin micromechanical marvels were being made. Everything about a coin watch needs to be thin, from the crystal to the movement to the case. And the inner case in particular, I think, is an amazing example of this craftsmanship. Let's take a look at the movement within this 1960s coin watch. And this case hasn't been opened until now. And you can see the absolute stunning condition of this coin watch movement and also the absolute beauty of the caliber. A close look next to the balance, you'll also see HOX, indicating it was made for the US market. In terms of production, we don't know exactly how many coin watches Patek Philippe ultimately sold, but we do know how many have surfaced on the market. And this is auction houses and with dealers. We estimate that approximately 50, and I'm representing it with these chocolate coins, have been found to date. So 50 Patek Philippe coin watches have surfaced so far. And we know that there are many more to be discovered. But this is just a fun visual representation of how many coin watches we know that are out there, but we do know that there are more, and we're still on the hunt. But to have a reference 801, 2, and 3, the start of this coin watch adventure, I think is a beautiful beginning of a treasure hunt. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, and also TikTok. And until next time, enjoy the hunt.